I was hoping for a tiers upgrade, but... Oh, King, that sucks. I'm sorry to hear that. We dodged COVID recently. My son was quarantined at school when my wife went to pick him up a week ago. And we asked why. I just assumed he bit somebody. It's not true. He's not a biter. But listen. He lives and dies by his emotions. And sometimes that leads him to put hands on people. And I just sort of assumed... It used to be mild violence, and now it's not mild violence. It is, we're teaching him about personal space and consent, because he has a tendency to be like that awkward white kid who wants to touch somebody's hair because it looks cool. We're like, let's iron out that wrinkle real early, okay? You can't do that. You can't just walk up to people and just touch cheeks and pet hair and stuff like that just because you think it's cool. So I just assumed that he had done something like that because we've been having conversations with him about, like, respecting personal space and consent. But it turns out he was quarantined because for the entire day before, he had been exposed to somebody who came back with a positive COVID test. So we had to quarantine as a family because obviously I've been, like, you know, giving him all the hugs and kisses before bedtime and all the snuggles during nighttime movie night. They gave us a COVID test that he could only take the day before yesterday after the gestation period was over. And fortunately, it came back negative because vaccines and hand washing and masks and distancing. Yeah, King, I appreciate that. That sucks. I'm sorry. I hope you heal quickly. Queeb! Yeah, Racer Restraint, this is Rory, the 7-year-old. My 11-year-old is developing into quite the little adult. He has some problems with volume control and his intensity because he's been watching a lot of Minecraft YouTubers. So every time there's even a minor victory in my house, from across the house I hear, "Let's go!" And I'm just like, oh, god damn it. Oh my god, let's go! Do I have pics of tiny humans anywhere? Hold on. Pound, what's going on? Welcome. Queeb viewers, welcome. Bring it on in. My name's Taffy. I'm like Queeb, but my voice is far more grating. Let me see. Hold on. I might have one. I might have a relatively recent one. Here we go. These fucking goof nuts. Hold on. I'll put it in Discord. Let's go. Let's go. What is this? What's going on? Why has this happened? Wow! Joe to Nikki! Let's go! Oh my god! He watches some fucking guy, and this dude just oh my gods all the time over the dumbest shit. And I give him such grief over it. Every time I hear that Minecraft YouTuber who's like, "Oh my god, a creeper!" And I'm just like, sir, you have a 1 million sub YouTube channel that does nothing but Minecraft. You've seen a creeper before. I'm a 41-year-old grown-ass man. You're not gonna slide this curveball by me. I know you've seen this character before. It was there when the game launched. Joe to Nikki. I'm gonna let this room kind of sort itself for a second. You ever get flashback to the Minecraft YouTube days when you hear that? I mean, kinda.
Of the newest denizen of the cave.
I'll tell you the honest truth, JJ Madison. The thing that bugs me about listening to my kids get all fired up about like Minecraft YouTubers, even though most of them are Minecraft YouTubers I've never heard of before. Like they know Preston, they know Sunday, but there's a new guard of people who have popped up that my kids are like, oh yeah, those are old school guys. We're into new school guys. But the thing is like all of those old school Minecraft YouTubers were my friends back when they were making Call of Duty content. I've seen them with the mask down, you know? And so the thing that bothers me is I hear these new guys and I know it's exactly the same. I know they're walking off camera, you know, the moment their stream's over and going, or the moment their video recording session's over and they're just going, oh man, what a day, I can't believe that. So much work recording all those YouTube videos. I could really go for a martini right now. I need a steak. And they're like, oh wait, I forgot to record the outro. Hey everybody, thanks for... It's like Bobcat Goldthwait. You know what I mean? Like I know Bobcat's walking around going like, did I forget to close the garage? But then a reporter gets in his face. He's like, oh my God, what's going on? I can't believe you found it. Ah! And then he drives away and he's like, I fucking hate that. And that's the part that gets me the most. Is like I know these people well enough to know I know these people well enough to know that when the camera's off, they're not acting like that. I know that my kids are being sold a fake bill of goods, you know? Joe to Nikki, 10 gifted, Kim Kimmy, Not Called Bob, Puck Alive, Wreck-It Raven, what a delightful snipe. Donkey Jim, Devil's Defect, Derote, It's Tandy Boom, Hella Zach, and Tuji. Recipients of 10 very generously gifted subs from Joe to Nikki. And then Joe to Nikki snipes Crimson Wall as well. 11 high quality snipes. Thank you so much. Very, very kind of you. Yeah, JJ, it's that those guys are walking away lighting a cigarette going, all right, that'll keep those little bastards at bay until I have to record a video tomorrow. Do they watch Vintage Beef? I don't think they do, but I will... I don't think I'm gonna be able to get the deal with the devil on this floor. I don't know where either secret room is. And I only have one bomb, so I figured it would just be worth it to save the one black heart that I have. Beef was great, man. Like, I don't know anything about his content, I'm ashamed to say. But I did get to meet and spend time around Beef at the Minecraft Marathon up in Kentucky. And thoroughly enjoyed his company, so that's usually a pretty good indicator as to whether or not I'll like somebody's content. This fight's gonna take a million years. Am I really gonna do this? I am gonna do this. Fuck you! That fight was gonna take 100 hours otherwise.
This is the story of the newest denizen of the cave.
Oh my God! Tell Sage I will fight and die for them. I love your dog Sage more than I love some family members right now. Morning Taffy in chat. Currently making roasted garlic, rosemary, and Asiago bread to take my wife's office Christmas party. That sounds amazing. I like all those words you just said. I think we just write this floor off as a floor where we're not going to get all the stuff. My heart says it's there, but that feels like it's wrong an awful lot.
This is the story
like
of the newest denizen of the cave.
It feels like every time I'm 100% certain the secret room is attached to the spawn-in room, it's absolutely not. And I think I'd rather have a chance at an arcade on the next floor. Shit, that's interesting. Sorry, donut machine. Wow, 1 penny short, huh? Not anymore, baby! I'd rather be lucky than good. Give me that sweet, sweet deal with the devil. Beer Belly Boris, Prime Gaming sub for 3 months. Welcome back, thank you so much. El Punishero, tier 144 months. El Punishero, that's a big number and I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you both. Beef's videos are super chill. Maybe I'll turn them on to Vintage Beef then, because it would make my life infinitely easier. It would make my life infinitely easier to have some chill voices floating through the house. Ah! Sorry. I have thoughts. One is that if I just have faith in myself and trust that the secret room is where I believe it is, and then am correct, then we get our deal with the devil on this floor. It's not there. Where the fuck is it? It's not there. I got this like sinking pit of my stomach feeling that it's connected to the that it's connected here. I have a pit of my stomach feeling that it's south of the shop. It's really like the only place it can be. I'm so stubborn. Between the item and the curse room? Yeah, you're absolutely right. It could have been. Sorry, my nose itches. You're absolutely right. It certainly could have been. Ethos Lab's in the same boat, but a lot more technical, like Redstone and stuff. I would love them to learn, like, if they're watching a Minecraft channel because they're learning, it made me very happy when Justin came in and my boys were explaining stuff to him, hoping he would understand the level of Minecraft they were talking about. And it turned out the level of Minecraft they were talking about was pretty intricate. I love the idea of them getting technically proficient at the game. And not just, and not just them, just in case this deal with the devil. Ew. I was gonna say just in case this deal with the devil was, like Abaddon or something like that, but it was exceptionally bad. Hold up a minute. Yeah, so if they're learning how to be more technically proficient on Minecraft, I'm super down for that. Especially in situations where they're learning it at a reasonable volume without a bunch of artificial hype surrounding it. Oh my god, let's go! Let's not go. Let's stay. Let's go separately. Let's go in separate cars. I can do this. What do you got for me? My damage leaves a little something to be desired, but we're gonna be able to afford to buy some shit on the next floor. I guarantee you that. Well, I mean, good news, bad news. The good news is we have money. The bad news is that this run's gonna take a very long time. Meat fish. Who is fish? Oh, I didn't mean to make that noise. That noise came out of me involuntarily. I want to give Fish all the cuddles. Don't look sad, Fish. I love you so much. Yeah, yeah. Let's fucking go. The button opens the door when you press it. Yeah, like for somebody who's got 4 million subs and their channel's been live for like 4 years, and it's like, ugh. These Minecraft YouTubers who are the equivalent of a 1990s toy commercial. Hey there, boys! You ever played with rocks? Well, what if the rocks had a badass looking face and a more badass attitude to match and was voiced by just getting into the industry Vin Diesel? Now you're playing with battle rocks. Nope. Nope. Fuck this room. I don't feel like taking damage. Battle rocks to the extreme. Exactly. That's. It's the modern day equivalent of that, and it really puts me off. Every one of these guys feels like he's selling my kid's Monster Energy drink. Oh, I thought I could get in here and back fast enough to check that. That was a manly awe, and anyone who says otherwise can fight me IRL. Are we playing Spider-Man: A Christmas Carol After Isaac today? We absolutely are. Absolutely are. I was bummed out that I had to stop playing it yesterday. I just had stuff that needed to be. I had stuff that needed to get done, and I still only got like some of it done. Lowe's didn't have any propane, which bummed me out. I couldn't make it to a liquor store. The liquor store closest to me is temporarily closed. Justice. Sure.
Exciting.
I am disappointed. Yeah, BFF is fine. Yeah, the liquor store closest to me is temporarily closed, which was kind of a nightmare. Was trying to get that sorted, so I still don't have any bourbon. I drank wine last night. Hey. And I didn't find any propane, but I got most everything else I wanted to get done. Yo, I went to go buy beef tenderloin for my Christmas dinner. I'm gonna make peppered beef tenderloin with a white wine mushroom cream sauce, Brussels sprouts with bacon, and a balsamic reduction. And I'm gonna take a crack at making Duchess potatoes. I wanted to make a fancy Christmas dinner. I went to Wegmans. They had 2 different kinds of beef tenderloin. They had a beef tenderloin roast. They had a beef tenderloin roast that was 2.5 pounds. And the 2.5 pound beef roast, tenderloin roast, cost $71. The other end of the spectrum, they had a whole beef tenderloin, which the recipe called for, and said should weigh about 5 pounds. They had 8.5 pound whole beef tenderloins, $147. I understood that beef was expensive right now. I know that's been kind of the talk of the town recently, but holy shit. It was more expensive than I anticipated. They had propane and propane accessories, but they were out of propane. So unfortunately, I don't have what I need to season my griddle this weekend. Oh, that's exceptionally lucky. What a god tier gold key pickup. Costco? Damn, I should have gone to Costco. I went to fucking Wegmans. I was begging them to gouge me. I actually so Champion bought me. Ooh, I gotta save that. Champion bought me a $100 gift card to a local butcher who recently had been closed because of a COVID outbreak at their store. I appreciate them, you know. I appreciate them being careful, especially during the holiday season. That sucks. They had said, they were like, we took every precaution. Our employees are vaccinated. And somebody came in and gave us the gift of a breakthrough case because some jackhole came in without a mask and coughed all over us. So I'm willing to bet I probably could have gotten a tenderloin from there, but unfortunately, you know, I've sent a help ticket to Throne. Who knows how fast that'll move during the holiday season? But it's a digital gift card, so you know it should have hit my inbox instantly. But my email says check your dashboard for details, and my dashboard says we'll email this to you, and neither one of them have done it. So I didn't have the funds necessary to go investigate this incredibly posh local butchery.
Up.
My sister-in-law threw a temper tantrum until my husband's mom agreed to have spaghetti for Christmas dinner. Fucking spaghetti. Yeah, I'm still mad. Anyone can make spaghetti. She's 22. Gross.
Bad gas.
Have you considered farting on her and then recording it and sending it to Edmund with the hashtag bad gas? I'll spot you this. You can make spaghetti interesting if you do like fancy ass meatballs or something with it. Like you gotta put some effort into it. You can't, oh my god, there's so much money on this run. Spaghetti can be interesting, but you gotta like, you know, do like a seafood fra diavolo or like something, I don't know. Sausage and peppers rustica. Just something to spice that up. Yeah, honestly, crack open a can of Chef Boyardee for her. Don't even microwave it. Let it make that wet dog food from a can sound. Down into the bowl, and then just hand it to her with a spoon. Yeah, make yourself a little homemade sauce. Make yourself some handmade beef and pork meatballs. You can make spaghetti interesting, but if it's Christmas dinner and you're getting pushback from everybody else in the family, maybe don't be a moderate snatch about it, you know? Yeah, leave it in the can and just hand her a fork. Merry Christmas. Merry Crimbo. I'm a food stickler, though. Like, my kids, I'll never make them eat something they don't want to eat if they give it a sincere try and they can articulate why they don't like it. We've talked about the great chili incident of, I think, 2017 here before. That was one of the few times in my life where, oh my. That was one of the few times in my life that I abandoned reason and basically just went to my kids and said, you will do this because I am your father and because I have a deeper, bassier, more baritone voice than you. And neither one of you are man enough to take me yet. So you will eat this fucking chili. I didn't yell, eat this fucking chili at them. But you get the point, right? Like, you understand the premise behind it. That's the only time I've ever pulled rank like that. And now we have an agreement that there will never be another chili incident. So long as they try something sincerely. Because I'll make them eat the entire offering if I feel like they're faking it. I'll make them eat the whole plate and I'll be like, all right, now articulate to me because I know you've had plenty. But if they can try it and say, it's too spicy and I'm just not a fan of spicy food, or they try it and they go, you know, Dad, I just really don't like big chunks of tomato. Anything. If they can come up with anything that sells me on why they don't like the thing, and we can't fix it. It doesn't have enough salt, we can put salt in it. It does, you know, it's a little too bland, well, crack some black pepper on there and hit it with some freshly grated parm. We can fix these things. And they realize that now. That's where the deal lives these days. If they articulate to me, they say, you know what? There's a flavor in there I just don't like, and I go, is it cumin? They're like, yeah, it's the same thing I don't like from chili and you know, certain Indian foods or whatever. I go, all right, that's fair. You're out. You can go make yourself a PB&J because I'm not making another dinner. but they have to articulate to us why they're against whatever it is. Why on earth did kids not want chili? What was their reasoning? Powdered toast, man. I wasn't gonna regale everybody with the whole story, but since you've asked, I will regale everybody with the whole story. You little rat bastard. So the story basically goes, and this is back during a time where I was stressed out because like the channel wasn't quite covering all of our bills, and I was the co-owner of 2 burgeoning oh my god, what have I done? I was the co-owner of 2 burgeoning startups that surrounded music and music law. So my wife was battling cancer. I was a business owner for 2 businesses, 3 if you count my stream, and we were living in a rental house, and we were on the path to bankruptcy. Like, everything turned out fine, but we didn't know everything was going to turn out fine. And yet at the same time, Amber and I never missed a rent, even during cancer. Amber and I never missed a rent check. Amber and I never paid a bill late. Like, we figured it out, and and the boys ate every single night. Like, we made edible, good food every single night. And so one night, Amber makes a very good stock pot chili. And I get all excited because when we make chili, that means that the next night we get to do chili dogs. And I love that. I love chili dogs after chili. That means that 2 meals are planned, and chili dogs are one of the few things that make me think there may be a benevolent God in the universe. And that he or she has not abandoned us. And we sat down, and I was kind of not at a breaking point, but I was not in a good mental space. And the boys were hitting this like testing boundaries phase where they enjoyed, like, Grayson in particular had gone from liking and trying everything. Like the fact that Grayson tried sushi, and Grayson tried sushi before he tried Sloppy Joe's in his life. Because he saw me eating sushi. Now granted, it was bad grocery store sushi on whole grain rice, and he instantly spat it onto my living room rug. And I didn't blame him. It wasn't very good sushi, but I was eating it because I'd fucking paid for it. Period. Full stop. That's the whole story, is that I had paid for the sushi, so I was eating the sushi. And he asked for a piece and tried it, and that had been his thing for the longest time, is my boy tried everything. But then he hit this, like, pushback phase where he started to tell us no to things he hadn't even put in his mouth yet. On this particular night, we sit down to dinner. We all have a bowl of chili in front of us. Rory is getting ready to put a spoonful of it in his mouth, and Grayson goes, "I don't want to eat this," and pushes the bowl away. This isn't gonna be any good. And Rory, who was getting ready to put chili into his mouth, with a smile on his face, set his spoon down and went, "Yeah, me neither." And I said, "Well, this is dinner, so eat it or don't eat it. But this is what I made for food tonight. I want something else." And I no. My entire body just pulsed with the word no. You know what's funny? Okay, so this is the first time I've looked at chat in a hot minute. Polka Dot Turtle says, "I used to not like plain rice because of the texture." What's funny is that, like, Rory prefers plain, like, sushi rice to everything. Rory 100% will take just plain white rice over fried rice, filled with, like, ham and egg and calories and cholesterol. Chili dogs are so good, right? They love, well, no, not they. Rory likes miso soup. Grayson likes sushi. So we've gotten them sushi they enjoy. Grayson actually, like, picks sushi as one of his favorite, like, birthday meals or whatever. I'm still seeking out the chili dog I had from the pop-up tent outside Camden Yards like 5 years ago. Sushi, not sushi, chili dogs are so fucking good. Are you a bean or no bean chili family? I like beans. I like the texture and the fiber. I don't mind beans. I don't mind beans. I like the extra heft it gives it. After having several breaths, the wood of the table cracking under his grip, Taffy said no. Lisa said, you'll make me feel like a child when my body refuses food. I don't know why it refuses it, but it becomes a literal chore to swallow it, like trying to swallow a pill. Honestly, articulation, that's it. That's the agreement that we come to now, is that like if they can articulate, where am I?
Telepill.
If they can articulate why they don't like food, I'll let them off the hook. But they were reaching this phase where everything that we gave them that wasn't like chicken tenders or ramen or pizza was unacceptable. Like, the food would show up at the table and they would do their hands like a blackjack dealer who was trading out their seat with a new blackjack dealer, where they'd look at it and go, unacceptable. And on this particular day, I think the thing that really put me over the edge was that Rory was about to eat it. And he stopped because Grayson convinced him that they should take a stand, you know? And so at that point, I got very loud, and I got very big. And I said, you're gonna eat it! You're gonna eat it! And then I dialed myself back in, and I think it went the opposite direction, and I got like frighteningly quiet. Where I basically just let in with like, this will be the next meal that goes into your body. Rory got it very quick. Rory very quickly, yeah, it was a Bernthal scream. What about my family? It was a very John Bernthal from Punisher's like noise that came out of my body. Rory got it very quick. It's better than I thought it was going to be. I'm sorry. You're absolutely right. And I was just like, yeah, you can go. Grayson, on the other hand, decided that it's never too early to challenge your father for the throne. And Grayson learned a very valuable lesson. And that was just that he's not there yet. One day he'll wrench the mantle from my hands. One day I'll be too feeble to protect that which I've earned. And he'll be able to rip it from me because I'll be too old and weak to defend myself. But that day was not 2017 with him at 7 years old. And that day was most certainly not chilly night at the Caps household. He tried so many different little manipulative tactics. He tried faking like it was gonna make him vomit. He'd already eaten like 3 or 4 big spoonfuls with no problem and was just glaring a hole through me. And then he was like, I could see the wheels turning. Oh, I think this is gonna make me sick. And I said, you vomit, I'll get you a clean bowl. And I'll fill it up and we'll start again, because I know you have the room. Surprise, surprise, the dry heaves instantly went away. And every time he took a bite, he would say, is this enough? And I'd say, you'll know it's enough when I tell you you're done eating. And every time you try to bargain with me and negotiate with me, I'm gonna add more to it. So you would have been done by now, much like your brother was, because all he did was accept his L and eat the fucking food. You, on the other hand, have challenged me every step of the way, and each time you do that, I put another spoonful in my mental ledger. And he did that like 3 or 4 times, and he tried every ploy that he could think of to get out of it. And finally, after like 4 hours, I mean, it's going, like, we sat down at like 7 o'clock. All of a sudden, it's like almost midnight. Chili's ice cold. And I was just like, whenever you're ready. At that point, I had things I needed to do in my office, but I was like, I told him that he and I were not leaving that table. We weren't leaving that table until I was satisfied that he had eaten enough. And then at one point, he very quietly started to cry to himself in a way that he very much didn't want me to see it. And in a weird way, I know this is kind of dehumanizing, but it's the fastest metaphor I can come up with. It was like a simile. It was like breaking a horse's spirit a little bit over the past 11 years or so. I mean, that's how long I've had Grayson. There have definitely been times over the last 11 years where I have friends who I've seen who have gone up to like a tantruming child who's like thrashing and kicking and throwing shit, and their take is basically like, "Listen, baby." Oh no, I didn't mean to pick that up. But their take is like, "Baby, sweetheart, sweet child, you're being very disrespectful right now," to like a 3-year-old. And I'm not advocating for like, you should just shake it till it stops crying. But I am saying that there are definitely times where, you know, there's carrot and there's stick times. I'm also not advocating you hit your kid with a stick. It's a metaphor. There's carrot and stick times, and once in a while, when things are not reasonable, because this is a person who's still new to reality. Once in a while, I feel like you're just in booming voice territory, where it's just you march out the old chestnut of "do it because I said so," and that really needs to be enough reason until they're old enough to have a reasoned discourse. Until they're old enough to have reasoned discourse about where the disagreement lies. Which, thankfully, now I'm at the place where I can have a borderline adult conversation. Better than some adult conversations I could have with my kids. Nate! What's going on, dude? 5150 says, "Hey Tavi, hope the day finds you well today." I'm hatcheting my way through a pretty significant to-do list, but when is that different from any other time, it feels like? Taffy's advocating I beat my kids with carrots. I feel like I have to be super careful because I'm gonna find myself like clipped out of context out of spite or something, you know? My sister-in-law will let her kids get away with anything. She never tries to stop any of the behavior. She just follows them around saying make good choices, and it drives me nuts. I mean, you can have that conversation with your kids, but you have to get them to a place where they earn that conversation, you know? I've not met many children that start in that place of like, every once in a blue moon you meet a child who's just stuck out of time and is just born into the world at 3 years old going, well, this is a complicated problem with many variables, and you're like, do you have Benjamin Button disease? Why are you so mature? But I've met like 2 of those kids in 41 years. And even though my children are very smart and are very emotionally mature, neither one of my children were those children. So I still had to be the authority figure on occasion. As a middle school, high school teacher, it's a convo I wish more parents have with their kids. I mean, it was actually kind of, I don't want to say it was a point of contention, but it was definitely a point where Amber and I in the early goings had to make decisions about what kind of parents we wanted to be. And I didn't want to be like the angry parent all the time. I'd like to believe that nobody wants to be the angry parent all the time, but there are just some legit shitty people out there, so some of them do. Some of them are just eager to pass that fucking baggage on to their kids. But at the same time, just, you know, it's tough to reason with like a 2 to 4 year old. And my mother, who was looking me dead in the face when she said this, said it's also really tough to reason with a 13-year-old. And she said that shit at me without blinking for a very long time, and I was like, something you want to get off your chest, Marcia? And she was like, she was just sitting there with her Diet Dr. Pepper going, oh no, I'm just saying. This is good, Diet Dr. Pepper. I was one hit away from finishing my Lilith run. Satan is hard, yo. Lilith is like surprising. Lilith can be surprisingly difficult on occasion. If you don't get enough familiars, if you don't get enough followers, then it's tough to crank your damage up. And even if you get a bunch of followers, it can be tough. It can be tough to align your shots because obviously it's like Isaac's heart. Like suddenly everything is behind you. I feel like I've missed a dumb comment and I don't know what it is because I joined. I found myself in a place where I felt obliged to defend a stance I had about being one of the only times I've ever had to just pull the because I'm your dad and I said so card on my kids. That's it. If you don't teach your kids to respect others and that they can't always get their way, they grow up to be people who don't get vaccinated or wear masks during a pandemic. Little bit, man. I just, you know, I'm not gonna raise dumpster people. God, honestly, I might do this just to save myself the walk back. I'm gonna. And I'll just buy a replacement key. That's a sweet number of coins. Chat, are children succubuses? They are the longest of long-term investments. Little kids make you tired, teenagers make you exhausted. I feel like the teenage years are gonna make me I was such a fucking I was so stupid for a decade. I don't want to revisit the sins of my kids, or like the sins of the father back on the sons. I genuinely would like to. I know for a fact that at some point, just by the nature of it, I'm gonna have to have some conversations at some point where I'm just like, why did any of this sound like a good idea to you? I know that that's coming. But I'd like to believe, because my kids seem smarter than me at this age. My kids seem more like I don't feel like we infantilize our kids the same way that my parents infantilized me into my 20s, you know? Not in a bad way, they're not like manipulative or anything like that, but they just wanted to problem solve things for me. And they wouldn't tell me things like, you'll never be able to figure out how to do this kind of stuff on your own. But even into my 40s, I'm getting stuff like, I'll just go ahead and do this for you. And I'm like, well, you know, I should probably learn how to do this for myself. To which the response sometimes is, well, I mean, you can figure out how to do this stuff when I'm dead. And I'm like, well, I don't want to have to be figuring out how to do my taxes when I'm, 60. Or whatever it is, you know? I don't want to be figuring out how to buy my own car when I'm 55 because my parents were just like, you'll figure it out. You'll figure it out when I'm gone. So I know that at some point I'm gonna have conversations with my kids where I'm just like, what in the world were you thinking? Like, why do you think this was a good idea? But I have to imagine that because we treat our kids a little bit more like tiny roommates than we do like itty bitty babies who can't understand or deal with anything themselves. I have to imagine we're gonna see better results out of their teenage years. Like Amber was a fine teenager. I was a young dipshit who lived in the middle of nowhere and was just bored most of the time. So I did stupid things to break the boredom. My dad tried to do that with me and drinking. I immediately took 1/5 of a tequila to the face one night and blacked out, so lesson not learned. Well, today I learned something and learned it by posting it on the internet. Time to never use Twitch again. Damn, that is not what I hoped would show up there. I was trying to save you! Stupid Bob's rotten brain. Letting kids get stuck, struggle, and learn is important. It becomes something that will help them give them confidence pretty quickly. It's like letting them struggle their way through stuff. Letting them struggle their way through stuff. Overcome that, and then also like in the early years, it was tough getting them to not give up on something the moment it was even a little bit hard. My mother tried to do that shit with me, not out of concern, but out of manipulation, trying to keep me under her thumb, and I hated it. As I genuinely don't believe that, like, genuinely don't believe that my mother did that kind of stuff out of a sense of, like, wanting to, like, lock me down or manipulate me. But it sometimes would be very frustrating. In my later years, like nowadays, I feel like she and I have a very good relationship when it comes to... I listen to her, like I seek her out for advice on things where I'm just like, you have experience in this. Please tell me about your experience in this so that I don't have to do it twice. Or so that I don't have to pay somebody to redo it. But she also generally kind of lets me find my own way on stuff where it won't... It generally won't hurt me if I fail, you know? Even into my 40s. Oh no, Ollie Queen, I say that because I wrestled with whether or not that was the case, honestly, for a little while. There were definitely points in time where I was just like, I heard about other people, you know, I heard about other people who were struggling with that kind of stuff, and I was like, that kind of sounds a little bit like what I'm going through, but not quite. And I genuinely had to sort of sit down and analyze that to see whether or not I felt like that was how it was for me, and I feel reasonably good that it's not. It still didn't stop it from being ridiculously frustrating sometimes. Laughing at kids when they struggle is fun, but not as helpful. I've definitely dialed back the snark and the sarcasm that I had in my, like, late 20s, early 30s. And have worked very hard to not do that as much with my kids. It took me a while to realize that I was doing that for my benefit and not for theirs, and that it was an ultra douchey move. Have you, though? Only, like, the only time I ever march that out is when I think they'll be in on the joke, too. Amber has become a very good, like, she was the first one to really call me out on it, where she was just like, you can't do that. Like, you can do that with our friends, you can do that with, like, your drinking buddies, but you can't do that with a 7-year-old. And I was like, oh, you're right. That said, now, I do it with Grayson a little bit more because he's... they've watched enough YouTube at this point that they get it. And they'll snark right back at me sometimes, and you know, unless it stings real bad, because they do that excellent thing where they hit just the spot that I'm like, oh, I'm really sensitive about that. You found the exact thing that I hope people don't notice about me. Yeah, Lucky, that was something that I had to dial back real quick, real early. Amber was an excellent divining rod for me in that one. She got in my ear very quickly on that years ago, and I've tried to be... Oh, you little rat bastard, I wasn't even looking at you. I've tried to be conscientious of it ever since. I have a friend who works in a daycare center, and some of the shit these kids say is hilarious. That's part of the reason I was thrilled to get the vasectomy done, is I just, to a certain extent, I feel like I survived their younger years because neither Amber nor I were excited about rearing tiny children. If we could freeze time on them now, I would keep them the way they are now forever. We love where they are now. We have raised people who are now little friends. They're fun to play video games with. We're at a point where, you know, with obvious exceptions, we can watch most movies together. They're tall enough to ride most theme park rides now. Now is fun. But yeah, we were not huge fans of raising babies, and even I feel like he died very fast, like I wasn't paying attention to the fight or something. Even parts of toddlerhood were a struggle. It's different, you know, different strokes for different folks, because I know some people who, they love being pregnant, and they love babies, and they love toddlers. Some people love the whole shebang, but we pretty quickly identified which parts we were fans of and which parts we kind of weren't. Oh god, polka dot turtles. It was, the toddler years of my kids are some of the meanest, like, middle school bullies didn't scar me the way my kids scarred me when they were old enough to make observations but too young to know when they shouldn't say anything. I remember at one point Grayson poking his head into the shower and letting Amber know what a tremendously large gut I had. That's it. I was in the shower minding my own business, taking my little 30-second spa moment. My kid stuck his head in the shower, so I had to recover from feeling like naked and vulnerable in front of him, but I didn't want him to think that the human form is anything to be ashamed of. So I was like, oh, hey buddy, what's going on? And he was like, Mom, Dad's gut is so big. And he just walked off, and I was like, okay, cool. Make a mental note to talk to my therapist about that. When does the child misery end, Taffy? Mine's 5 and holy shit. I mean, you know, it's gradual. We loved our children as babies, but over time, I remember feeling like I was doing something wrong for a while with Grayson and Rory because I was just so confused about why I didn't feel more paternal and endeared. And then honestly, at about 5, 6, 7, when they became old enough to articulate their thoughts, you know, Grayson started saying like really kind things to me. And then Rory came along and Rory started saying really kind things to me as well. And at that point, like, you felt like you were getting some sort of, this is a gross way to think about it, but it's the only vernacular I can find. You feel like you start to get like an emotional return on investment. Because for a split second there, I genuinely couldn't, I didn't feel like I could convince myself of why people would volunteer to do this more than once. But, you know, once they hit like 4, 5, 6, they start articulating and their little personalities come out, and at that point it really is like getting to know a new person. And, you know, if you're lucky, it's a cool person. Kids can come up to you and be like, wow, you have dumb ears. Like, how could you, small child? Jade Stone says, who the fuck loves being pregnant? This sucks. Like, Amber was on board with you. She didn't enjoy being pregnant at all. We haven't gotten a single tears upgrade this entire fight. That's why I've been kind of leaning on waiting for Bob's brain to pop up each floor, or each room. Kids can be the most unintentionally mean people ever. My son's was, why do you have so much hair on your shoulders? Yeah, like, you know, I don't think any kid is truly born with strong empathy genes, you know? That's something that empathy's a muscle that has to be acquired over time. I feel very fortunate that my kids seem to pick it up very fast. I'm super curious about roll down dice. Ew. I don't care about getting the bracelet. I was gonna say, am I actually gonna like use monstrance to kill stuff and flies to kill stuff? My niece with the "you smell weird" comment. Yeah, that's the by biology itself, kids kind of start off like little sociopaths. Exactly. It's not their fault. That's just how it starts for them. They didn't ask to be born. They didn't ask to contemplate reality. So they're processing all that and they're making little observations, and some of them are incredibly aggressive observations. My daughter's mean is no longer unintentional. She frequently says things she escalated, like, maybe if I'd been a better mother, to straight up to, you're the shittiest mom ever. Wow. Whew. Whew. That's a lot. Yeesh. We've definitely at some point in time or another run into the whole, like, you know, I hate you, and it's like, do you? Do you hate me? And it was mostly Rory back in the day. I don't know. We don't find ourselves crossing those many rivers anymore. Especially because, like, you know, as we've said before, Rory is the empath now. Rory is the person who can't walk a mile without putting himself in someone else's shoes. The child of two actors, to be sure. Super fun when my son told me I was a bad parent because I wouldn't play Skyrim with him. I didn't realize COVID was coming and already felt like a monster a couple of years ago when I took away trick-or-treating. And before I get, you know, potentially get Dr. Spocked by somebody in chat, the reason trick-or-treating was taken away a couple of years ago was because we found out that there was casual lying being done about the theft of Halloween candy. And in addition, Grayson in particular had snatched... Why is this room? Grayson in particular had snatched a book of matches. Grayson in particular had snatched a book of matches from my in-laws' place and was just playing with matches while Amber and I were asleep. And there seemed to be an utter lack of remorse. And at that point I was just like, wow, these are behaviors that are wholly unacceptable. And I have to nip these in the bud, and the behavior persisted. With reasoned discourse, the behavior persisted. With lighter punishments, the behavior persisted. It was very that and the chili incident were really like the two most openly defiant incidents that I remember. I can't think of really any other quite along those lines. And I got, you know, that was definitely one of those times where I got, you're a terrible parent from my kids. They didn't like us. They didn't love us. We were terrible parents. I also didn't realize that a once-in-a-century pandemic was going to turn into an endemic that forever changed how we lived. It wouldn't have changed what I'd done, but I'd have felt even worse about it, but... I I definitely didn't want to be in a situation where a little bit of theft and arson, a little bit of theft and light arson was like the kind of thing where like, oh, well, you'll get like a light slap on the wrist for that.
The Hierophant.
If you roll down the gold remote twice, you get Succubus. I don't need batteries on this floor because I've got, you know what I'm talking about. I shouldn't have taken nine lives when I did. I just need to hurt myself until I can roll down into Succubus. So I'd much rather leave with Succubus. I don't mind backseating on, I don't mind backseating on things like roll down dice because I'm not gonna go look all that shit up. I can do this.
Isaac! Isaac!
Come on, Bob. Time to come back to work.
Isaac!
Come on, Bob. Time to come back to work. Thank you.
Isaac! Isaac!
Oh. I'll be real with you. I don't want brimstone. I'll be honest with you, I don't want brimstone. It would be nice. How many red hearts do I have on the floor? Do I have? It's a little dicey. Trying to decide if I can get into this boss trap room. I kind of want to. I'm gonna try it because it could be health. I did myself a disservice. I did myself a disservice by getting rid of all that health with 9 lives. Shit. That is health. And charges. Inadvertent charges and intentional charges. Unfortunately, I don't know that spin down dice is gonna work because I got paid out too fast from the blood bank. Maybe? I need to spin it down twice. Why are there just no... Why are there just no, Or there's no batteries on the floor.
Are you a wizard?
Yeah, thank you, Rini. There are no bounties. There are no batteries. There's definitely a bounty. Absolutely a bounty. Shit. Well, okay, how about this? What's the world? The world is... I was gonna say guaranteed crawl space, so that's worth looking into.
World.
I mean, it's combat. Unfortunately, I had the wrong item on hand to do it. What character do runs get the wackiest on? Bethany. Off the cuff, Bethany. Got so many charges. Yo, is that Guppy? That is Guppy. How fortuitous. I didn't think about Guppy. Somebody's at my door. Let's go. Let's go! I'm more concerned about giving him a. What's the word I'm looking for? And the kind of insecurity that's gonna involve a therapist over his taste in YouTube videos more so than I taught him that we don't dismiss food out of hand. It's probably a delivery if I had to guess. A whole bunch of displate stuff is in the mail. A whole bunch of like displate and other things are in the mail. It's me, let me in, I'm cold. Dude, if only. You know what I wouldn't give to have a man here to teach me how to make this whole griddle situation work? One, two, three, four. Yeah, we could do this. And then, I like the idea of having succubus. And then we'll just take spin down dice, and that'll be like our reroll. That's an ugly amount of health to give up, but would I give up that much health for succubus? And the answer is yes, I would. I should have played this out until the item hit the ground. That's kind of silly of me. I should have played that out until that hit the ground, because then, regardless of what it re-rolls into, it would have re-rolled into an item that might have been something I'd want to take. And it's not like this money has any use to me now. I'm quite certain gender has nothing to do with griddle knowledge. You don't operate it with your undercarriage. You're right. That being said, my point was, I would like very much for a non-gender specific person with griddle knowledge to come and educate me on their wizened ways. Outdoor cooking enthusiast. I don't know how you work your griddle, but it is, my junk is heavily involved for me. Hello? Dude, my luck is so high on this run. 14 luck, and I don't feel like I have anything to show for it.
Oh
shit.
Energy.
Now I want there to be some useless ass item that I don't want somewhere on the floor so that I can spin it down into something good. All the luck in the world and nothing to do with it. Yo, let's go. Oh my god. Hey, man, what's going on, Taffy? How the heck are you? Listen, man, before you get all hasty about wanting to re-roll an entire room full of books into potentially usable items, let me first make a case for me, the Book of Sure. Oh my god.
48-hour energy.
Yo, that's a Tears upgrade when I desperately need it. That's the first Tears upgrade I've seen all game. How pleasant is that? We're back to books? Oh, you know what? It's not the same books, it's different books getting through that same order. That's alright, we'll just keep looking around. You know what, Kamai? It's bizarre to me. My back hurts so bad, like really, really bad Monday. My back was killing me Monday, so much so that I went to bed early. I went to bed hours early just to ignore it. Yo, that's spectacular. Yeah, my back was terrible on Monday. I can't bring myself to march Sissy out here. It was a little bit uncomfortable yesterday, but by the time I went to bed last night, I feel fine today. It just came it left as fast as it showed up, which is bizarre to me because I didn't do anything to hurt it, to my knowledge. So it showed up, and then as quick as it showed up, it left. And I still, to this day, don't know why. That is a reroll pedestal, if I'm not mistaken. Oh god, Kamai, that could be it, because I was sitting here... Maybe I am just at a point now where stress just does that to me. Maybe that's where I live now. Because honestly, I was thinking about how... You ever just not do the math on what your week is gonna be? You ever just not do the math on what your schedule is supposed to be? And you paint a narrative or a picture in your head that absolutely doesn't align with reality? Where like, I got through Thanksgiving and got into December and was like, oh man, the week of Christmas, this is the time where everybody takes time off to relax and chill. Ooh, is that Beelzebub? It's awfully close. I was thinking to myself like, oh man, Christmas time is a time to relax and chill and sort of let your hair down and kick your feet up, have a glass of mulled wine, enjoy a fire. And so in my head, I had it set up that I was on the way to like a very stress-free week. And then I would just kind of like, I'd stream and I would do things that felt like fun, but I wouldn't be put out or like really struggle with anything. I would just do what I felt like doing. And it was gonna be a good time. And then I got into my week and I was like, Yule log stream, cooking stream, charity D&D stream, and every day that you don't have something at night, you have something you're supposed to be doing to prep for the next day. And that Christmas was not, even Christmas was not going to be a day off. And for some reason that just hadn't crossed my mind until I got to like Monday. And when I hit Monday, I was like, oh, shit. And so I woke up and yeah, my lower back hurt. And then the next day, my middle back hurt. And all yesterday, my traps, like I carry all my stress right here. And these were just radiating pain yesterday. And I was just like, I haven't been to the gym. I didn't do any yard work. Like I haven't exercised in what feels like months. So it can't possibly be that I pulled something, you know, raking leaves or whatever. But now that you mention it, like the fact that I'm kind of, that's exactly what I was hoping would happen. I was hoping I'd get combat. But yeah, the fact that I had convinced myself that I was going into an easy, relaxing Christmas vacation, and this week is the most jam-packed that I've run into. Sure. This week is the most jam-packed that I've run into since Thanksgiving. Kind of, it feels like it caught me off guard. What's the schedule? When you get back to your gym routine, you should add some light yoga stretches. I absolutely agree. I've never done yoga, but I've heard from many people whose opinions I respect that they think it would help me out an awful lot. Just intense stretching. Just, you know, not to the extreme, but like very, very intentional, very methodic stretching. Which one of these is the higher tiers upgrade? Because that's the one I want. Dolly. 0.7. Binky. 0.75. That's our winner. Yeah, rage yoga. Exactly. I'm not looking to engage in rage yoga, but I am saying like very intensive, intentional, deep, long stretches would. I've been told that yoga would do wonders for me. You've heard of hot yoga, now get ready for rage yoga. That was the most intense yoga I've ever seen. Where'd you go, you psychopath? Oh, well, you see, this one time my dad made me eat this bowl of chili. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Say no more. I get it. That's why we have rage yoga, so you can get that shit out of you. This is a safe place. Pat would be awesome at rage yoga because I would imagine he would go there. I would imagine he would go there in character as like Logan, as like Wolverine. All right, bubs. That'd be so good. I'm super excited at the prospect. I'm super excited at the prospect. Like Pat said that if he ever came to visit me. Pat said that, oh my, I'm just curious now. Pat said that if he ever came to visit me, he and I would film a scene, like polished, finished. We would film a scene from the independent film that I still have the script. That he and I would film a scene from the independent film that we met on the set of. And then find the director and the producer and send it to them and be like, we're still game if you are. we're still out here. We'll have to age us down a la Nick Fury in Captain Marvel, but it can be done. Aster, what's going on? How am I feeling? Good. I'm nervous. I don't want to like say it too loud. I actually feel like I have no back pain whatsoever, and that freaks me out because I feel like that's me daring my back to flare up right now. But after 2 days of having heating pads on my back, and being just befuddled about why I was in so much pain the last couple of days, my back just seems to have gone back. Like, have you tried turning it off and back on again? I just reset, and everything was fine. Yeah, God, honestly, I remember once upon a time. There we go. I remember once upon a time I took a back injury to PAX East and not treated a bunch of his friends. Ew. Ew. It's a little late for that now. Yeah, I suppose so. Immaculate Conception's fine. Yeah, I went to PAX East with Nate and friends, and Nate treated us all to a dinner at a sushi place. And I was sitting between a couple of new friends that I'd made and having a conversation with them. And my back had been hurt the entire time, but I had been getting good sleep. Honestly, I was brand new to dosing on Ambien, which turned out to be, you know, not the greatest advice a doctor has ever given me, but I was dosing on Ambien, so even though I was in pain, I was sleeping like the dead. And by the end of PAX East, we went to this sushi restaurant, and Nate treated everybody, and I ate a bunch of sushi and had great conversation. And then at the very tail end of it, I was literally having the thought process of, man, my back feels really good. Like, my back feels deceptively good. I'm surprised that, you know, it seems to have healed while I was at this conference, sleeping in a hotel bed, sharing it with Adam. So Deadpine and I are, you know, sharing a hotel bed. So neither one of us can really spread out because we're both like really big dudes for the most part. And yet somehow all of this seems to have worked itself out. I took a bite of sushi and it was nigiri and a grain of rice hung in my throat. And I just did this. Well, I don't want to re-demonstrate it, but I cleared my throat to get the grain of rice out of my throat. Just one quick one like that. Like louder and with more emphasis, but I don't want to tempt fate. But I gave it like one quick clear, and the next thing I knew is everything locked back up so bad that I slapped my hands on the table and just did one of these and was just like, and I had to be helped into an Uber to get back. I had to be helped into an Uber to get back to the hotel, and then was in so much pain at the airport the next day that I sweated through my clothes. Like, I sweated the whole flight back to Richmond because, like, sitting upright was so intensely uncomfortable. Yeah, it's funny because I tell people that you never realize. Oh my God, you got me. I tell people that you just never realize how your back is connected. Oh my God, I'm getting roughed up. Loud for some reason on that one particular level. You never realize how connected your lower back is to everything you do. From like breathing to like pooping. Obviously to walking. But you never realize, oh my God, how connected your breathing is to everything you do until your back is, or how connected to everything your lower back is. All right, we got 20 keys. Let's get 20 items. Neat. I mean, I actually wouldn't mind grabbing up a little bit of health. Oh, I was like, what the hell is that line? It's from Friend Finder. Got it. Don't need that. Big ass bombs are always welcome. That is muy not bueno. I mean, like, I can no-hit most of the rooms in this. Bob's brain took me by surprise. Sure. Ooh, yeah, Soul Locket is great. Yeah, Soul Locket is a dope pickup there. Now I just need more soul hearts. Balls of Steel. Yo, where were you when I needed you? We're good now. I don't want IBS. That actually could be one of those items that ends up costing me the run if I'm not careful. Hello? Oh shit, scary. Stop. Why is everything so slow? Do I have stopwatch? Did I pick up stopwatch somewhere? I didn't, did I? Everything just feels very sluggish in these rooms, including me. Like, my shots feel very slow. Well, I mean, like, finally we got the razor, we got trick or treat. And it finally coincides, like, we finally have a use for luck. So every shot damn near is a deadly razor. You're in here somewhere. There you are. How did that not count? I should have counted as a soul heart. There's that one penny that's gonna put us over the top, baby! Vera, welcome! Shit, I wish I hadn't gotten rid of Unicorn Stump now. Give me those soul hearts. I do feel blessed. Give me soul hearts. Thank you. Can't see. I think it's gone. Let's do this. Immaculate Conception too. Immaculate Conception could potentially pay us out with a familiar, not that we know it at this rate. Not that we know it right now. Thank you, Lisa. Yeah, absolutely. The moment this runs over, I'll give Amazon a full 60 seconds of our time. Not a minute more! Red candle, you say? Oh, did you guys hear that? That was my stomach. I'm looking forward to whatever the hell lunch is today. We made Sloppy Joes last night. I don't remember the last time I had a Sloppy Joe. Grayson liked it very much. Rory's this weird conundrum. Like, I don't understand. It's very chicken or the egg. God damn it. Rory somehow manages, even after all that we've talked about, Rory somehow manages to only like foods that he's tried before. And I get it, like, I didn't like Sloppy Joes as a kid either. It's a very odd sandwich. Grayson loved it, Rory didn't. But, like, somehow Rory's reached this place where he tries everything, and he gives good feedback on what he doesn't like. But he somehow manages to never like any new foods. But he had to have tried some foods for him to have developed a list of things he enjoys. You know what I mean? Like, somewhere in there he tried stuff. But I don't know where he tried stuff, because he just doesn't seem to like any of the new stuff I march in front of him recently. Ooh, the cheat code to Sloppy Joes is fried onion bits on top. That sounds amazing. I came around on Sloppy Joes from when I was a kid because all I'd ever had was manwich that, like, my mom would make. I probably should have come in here with the red candle. My mom would make manwich, and it's not bad. Manwich is passable, and then, like, whatever was served to us by the Princeton School District in northeastern Texas. And obviously, elementary school Sloppy Joes leave a lot to be desired. Last night, though, like, we made it from scratch, seasoned it from scratch. It had a really good recipe that actually had some intricacy to it. There were layers to that recipe, you know? Grayson apparently adored it. I thought it was a really good recipe. Rory, we have not marched out anything in front of Rory that's been new that he's genuinely liked in a while. There's something other than manwich? Yeah, you can make it from scratch. I'll see if I can find the recipe after the bounty. Remind me. I'll march out the recipe we used last night. Turns out I still, nowadays, still very much like sloppy joes. I like well-made sloppy joes. I'll still eat a manwich if you give me one. I'll still eat a manwich if you give me one. But for the longest time, my only frame of reference to sloppy joes was like shitty elementary school sloppy joes, you know? Yeah, no delirium for me, thank you. Boy, they're trying. I don't think so, bub.
Someday, Bumbo, lucky Bumbo, someday the Bumbo is a bad Bumbo. He got corn.